Red tide is once again wreaking havoc on the beaches we call paradise here on the Sun Coast. High amounts of the algae bloom have been killing thousands of fish and causing a strong odor at beaches in Manatee and Sarasota counties. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us with a look at this growing problem. Rick.
Yeah, Alan, this red tide is causing a big mess here on the Sun Coast. Many folks are hoping it disappears as quickly as it came in. It's been an all too common sight recently at many beaches in Manatee and Sarasota counties. Thousands of dead fish on Siesta Key, thousands more on Longboat Key, and red tide is to blame.
It's not pleasant to the eye, and it's even less pleasant to the smell.
Dr. Tracy Finaro with Mote Marine Lab is an expert on red tide. She tells us this algae bloom came on very strong in the Gulf and in Sarasota Bay.
Right here at Baydock and Mote Marine Laboratory has our highest counts that we've got throughout the Gulf. We have over 2 million cells per liter here, which is very high.
Experts say red tide is a naturally occurring phenomenon that starts as microalgae at the bottom of the water and blooms, making its way to the surface. It's been spotted as far north as Coquina Beach and as far south as Captiva.
At the moment, there's not too much that can be done to stop red tide.
One kayaker visiting Lido Key recently tells us he enjoyed his time on Sarasota Bay, but he couldn't believe what he saw.
It's pretty sad. It's a beautiful area, but a lot of sad, dead fish everywhere.
Well, this is a pretty rare sight. Siesta Beach is usually jam-packed with lots of people. Whether it's the red tide, the fish kill, or the smell, it's certainly keeping people away. Another reason for the quieter than normal beaches could be the time of year. September is typically one of the slowest months of the year. The red tide isn't keeping longtime Sarasota resident Christine Powers and her friend from having a little fun in the sun at Siesta Beach.
It's something living by the ocean you just have to deal with, no matter where you're at. So, I mean, you get kind of used to it after a while, but it's not as bad.
Some businesses that rely heavily on the water have seen a little bit of a drop. That's not the case for Captain Tom Kellogg of Outrigger's sport fishing charters. He says he's seen some red tide on the Gulf and in the Bay, but business has remained very steady.
The fishing's actually picking up every day here. You know, our water's starting to cool off a little bit. The fishing's getting real good.
Orlando Cano, owner of Paradise Adventures on Lido Key, tells us this shouldn't stop people from coming out and having a good time.
If you're only in town for a few days and you have to choose between sitting in your hotel room or coming out here, we can guarantee that coming out here is definitely the better choice.
Experts say that although it's still okay to go in the water and enjoy some water-related activities, you're being urged to be extra cautious around areas where there's red tide, especially if you have respiratory issues.
I would check the beach conditions reporting system before going to the beach to find out which beaches are experiencing the dead fish respiratory irritation before going to the beach.
And experts do say this red tide could still be around at least a few more weeks and possibly even a few more months. Alan?
Rick, thank you. And when we come back, we'll have more on red tide and how the Sun Coast is responding when we come back.